Let's continue discussing the role of instructional materials. And while we talk, when we talk about the use or design of instructional materials, I mean the authentic versus inauthentic materials or some other teacher-made materials, we need to be aware of some criteria before choosing or selecting our textbooks. Right. So that's the main, focus of this brief discussion here. Now we're going to look at the evaluation criteria. Before I begin, I would like to give an example, and that might help us know what we mean by evaluation of a course book. For example, if you are a language teacher and you have been given the task to teach composition and writing, so you don't have the textbooks or the material, so you are given a choice. You are restricted to go to the market and choose a textbook. So before choosing the textbook, obviously it will involve a cost, money, and your energy. So what's the criteria that you need to know before choosing or selecting a textbook? So that's what we are going to look. All right. So there are certain complications involved, and we need to make informed judgments before selecting a textbook for a language program. So we need to do some systematic analysis. For example, the analysis should be based on language curriculum design approach, and while evaluating the textbook for a specific program, what we need to find out, firstly, does it suit the environment in which it's going to be taught? Does it meet the needs of your learners? And whether it includes the principles of language teaching, I mean content and sequencing, monitoring and assessment, and does it meet the needs, fulfill the aims of the course? For example, if you are teaching composition and writing, so you need to ensure whether it includes some activities or some themes or topics which tell the students to how to use rhetorical devices of comparison and contrast, how to write process writing or argumentative writing, and does it have adequate information or guideline what techniques to be employed for language teaching, for teaching composition and writing. So these are some of the decisions which we need to be aware of while evaluating or before deciding about the textbook. Right. There are certain essential features which are classified as a criteria for the evaluation of a textbook. Let's go through these very quickly. What we need to primarily is the textbook should include right vocabulary and the level of the grammar which is which meets which is proficient for the learners, right? And it should be at affordable price, because if the textbook has already been recommended for the learners and it costs a lot, and and for example, if it causes some problems, so that might be cumbersome activity, and it should be readily available, because it doesn't take too much time for the learners to think about the activities, and it should have a size and number of lessons that that meet the overall length of the program, and it should include some topics, and the topics shouldn't be should not offend the cultural, social, or religious sensitivities of the learners. I've got example here for you. One of my colleagues from Libya, he was asked to teach composition and writing, and they were required to use textbooks by their institute. So in order to, enhance linguistic input in the classroom, he just based, he brought in some movie chunks in the classroom, but the learners were, against this notion of using movies in the classroom because it was against their religious sensitivities and because it was against the cultural environment. And it should include, the language which aims to inculcate some skills of critical thinking or logical reasoning, and it meets the needs of the goals. So in brief, before choosing a textbook for a particular language program, we need to be really aware of some criteria, and this is what we have discussed here, and we need to make some informed judgments or decisions about choosing a textbook and evaluate it and see whether it meets the needs of our learners or not.